Good morning, radio station. Stand by for live broadcast in 30 seconds. Good morning, DBS, Kyrie, and Vibes. Stand by for live broadcast in 20 seconds. 15. 10. Stand by for live broadcast in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning to you, members of the press, and good morning to those listening to us via DBS Radio, Kyrie FM, and Vibes Radio, and of course those of us on our social media taglines. And we hope that you continue to look and listen as we bring to you the official press launch of Dominica's Carnival in 2018. We're going to try to keep our traditions alive and to make sure that we can embrace the dynamic culture that's in Dominica post-Maria. And we're very happy that you have joined us for this experience as we lay out our plans for you and to encourage as many persons in our diaspora to join us for Dominica's Carnival. Let's celebrate our traditions, let's celebrate what we have, and to try and rebuild and to make Dominica once again truly the nature island of the world. Today we have with us our CEO, we have the Chief Cultural Officer, we have a representative of Flow Dominica. We also will be hearing from them, and also our Minister of Tourism will also be giving an address. You will be hearing about the program of activities, and as we continue to forge this alliance that will bring forth Dominica's Carnival for February 12th and 13th. To give you an official welcome and overview of the real mass, we'd like to call on Mr. Colin Piper, the CEO of Discover Dominica Authority and the Director of Tourism, to address you.
Morning, thank you, Val. Morning once again to everyone. Let me acknowledge the presence of the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Urban Renewal, Senator Robert Tonge, the representative from our corporate partner Flow, Mr. Kareem Geist, Mr. Val Coffey, Festivals and Events Manager at DDA with responsibility for DFC and doubling up as MC today. Acknowledge Ms. Vicky Chandler, our Destination Marketing Manager, staff of Discover Dominica, staff of Dominica Festivals Committee. Certainly morning to the members of the media present, and to all Carnival lovers and revelers in the listening public, both at home and abroad. I'm pleased to deliver brief welcome remarks at this, the official media launch of Carnival 2018, Mass Dominique, under the theme Celebrating Our Tradition. At DDA, we market the destination using the 3 pillars of nature, culture, and adventure. Under culture, we focus on our population of the Caribbean's last indigenous people, the Kalinago, and on our festivals, namely our Creole culture at the World Creole Music Festival, the family-friendly vibe of jazz and Creole that marries our culture with nature, and the unique traditions of Dominica's Carnival, Mass Dominique, the real Mass. These 3 events are in fact the cornerstone of our festival's tourism program. Like the nation on a whole and many other sectors, the tourism sector continues to rebuild post-Hurricane Maria. I'm pleased that the cultural industries can play their part in both allowing us to honor and celebrate our tradition while stimulating the economy and allowing those who do earn a living in the entertainment and cultural spheres the opportunity to do so. And given the circumstances post-Maria, we want to deepen our relationship with the other organizers of events in Dominica to ensure that the product being showcased is of a caliber that will entice and incent people from abroad, particularly our Dominican communities, to come visit and experience. So beyond the private sector folks at Carnival, I speak also of the Division of Culture, and I want to recognize the Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Raymond Lawrence, here with us, and activities such as Dom Festa, and various local government entities with responsibility for village feasts, We must properly plan and promote such events so that we can continue to benefit from visitors to our shores. In the weeks preceding Carnival and the World Creole Music Festival, many visitors come to our shores. Carnival and World Creole Music Festival account for about 10% of the annual visitor arrival figures, a sizable and important percentage that we very much want to maintain and grow. Because as patrons of these events experience our traditions, they spread the positive news firsthand to encourage others to visit the island. And that first-hand recommendation translates into an increase in visitor arrivals, an increase in visitor spend, longer stays, or some combination thereof. Of course, we acknowledge the role that our Dominicans residing abroad play at these times, and we want to let you know that you have an even more critical role to play in the rebuilding of our nation. Not only at festival time, but the whole year through. We need you now visiting family and loved ones, or encouraging travel to Dominica within your inner circles and further afield, and need your positive remarks about the island to be a standard feature of conversation. So our festivals and Carnival in this case have a very important part to play in our nation's rebuilding efforts. It is allowing room for our creative genius to be showcased. And with that in mind, DDA is considering that the only prize for Carnival 2018 will be the most creative band. And that one trophy each will be given to the adjudged band in the costume and traditional mass categories. I must thank the government of Dominica for its continued support to the Ministry of Tourism, DDA, and to Dominica's culture. They are the primary financial underwriters of this festival, and also to Flo, our longtime corporate partner for Mass Dominic. I also want to thank in advance all the participants of Carnival. Without the revelers, there would be no spectacle to watch. There would not be the colorful and vibrant sights, nor melodious sounds of our cultural heritage to use as marketing and promotional tools to attract visitors to our shores. So I want to thank those that will be participating in t-shirt bands, costume bands, calypso competitions, and the traditional masqueraders. We look forward to seeing your creativity in costumes for the Carnival. To all those who will be on social media, I encourage us to focus on and amplify the positive images of our Carnival. The theme of this year, celebrating our tradition, is appropriate and can be a guiding light of how to tell the world about Dominica post-Maria. Let's tell the world that this little island that has a rebuilding cost in excess of 226% of its GDP, this little island that people think was wiped off the face of the earth, is in fact relevant. And we are relevant because of our stance and position taken on becoming a model climate change resilient nation. And we are proud to showcase our culture as a critical part of the resiliency of our people. Therefore, as you post, or Snapchat, or Instagram, or tweet, let's showcase to the world that we are a destination and people on the rise, that we are celebrating our Mass with class and meaning, and that the meaning is implicit in our theme, that tradition means a lot to us, and that we intend to celebrate it honorably and safely. So I am Colin Piper. I am proud to be the Director of Tourism for the Commonwealth of Dominica. I'm inviting you to visit the Nature Island and experience a unique carnival, a spontaneous carnival. That's why we call it the Real Mass. I, along with the friendly people of Dominica, look forward to welcoming you to our shores, where your experience will be a safe and memorable one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So as you can see, the welcome has already started. So those of you, don't forget, the airport is open. The ferry terminal is open, so you should be making your bookings all now to come down and bring a friend, join your family in Dominica. And of course, whilst we're rebuilding, when you come in, you can also look forward to buying some blocks, buying some galvanized, do something to help us in the rebuilding of your family. Because it's all about bringing the families together. And we're looking forward to making Mass Dominic in 2018 a huge success with your support as you come from the diaspora to help us rebuild Dominica and make it better. It gives me great pleasure to call to the microphone a partner that we'll be working very closely with in 2018 and beyond. We believe that we both align ministries in terms of trying to bring our culture and the creativity together is very important. So it gives us great pleasure to bring to the microphone the Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Raymond Lawrence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Val-Coffey. Let me recognize the Honourable Minister for Tourism and Urban Renewal, Senator Robert Tonge, the CEO of Discover Dominica Authority and Director of Tourism, Mr. Colin Piper, Mr. Kareem Geist, Regional Marketing Manager of Flow, Mr. Val-Coffey, Festivals and Events Manager of the DFC, other staff members of the Discover Dominica Authority and DFC, members of the media. Good morning, everyone, and I take the opportunity to wish everyone a happy new year. And I thank God for bringing us to a new year and for giving us all the strength and grace we need every day for all what we have been going through, and for giving us the grace to bring us through the recovery process which we are still going through after Hurricane Maria. Let me congratulate the DFC and the DDA and the Ministry of Tourism on this launch of Carnival. And even if the Carnival may be a simple or more scaled-down version of our usual Carnival, I believe it will still give us that outlet to our creative expression and cultural thrust in the rebuilding process. Because culture and the arts do have an important role to play in the rebuilding process. Sometimes we tend to think of rebuilding only as the material and physical aspects, but there's also the rebuilding of the human spirit and psyche, and the rebuilding of identity and pride in oneself and one's country. In fact, when we speak of resilience, it's not just the houses and the bridges, which of course are extremely important to our development in Dominica, but it goes hand in hand with resolve and determination, which come from spiritual values and inner strength to keep on going and to persevere in spite of the circumstances. Our culture and festivals also provide many opportunities for earning income, as Mr. Piper earlier alluded to, through our cultural industries, including opportunities for our artists, our musicians, our performers, our costume designers, not forgetting the seamstresses and the tailors that have to be making many, many, many different types of Creole wear during independence and carnival costumes and so. And of course, other parts of the industry like the hotels, the taxi drivers, the bus drivers, and vendors also. Our cultural expressions help to provide hope and optimism and an inner strength of spirit, as well as helping to build nationalism and love of country. And that's why the Cultural Division decided that, as scaled down as it was, that we should have gone ahead and staged some independence activities across the country, even in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. We also assisted with Christmas as well, one of our favorite seasons in Dominica. And we are planning to assist with Carnival, with the staging of our annual traditional Old Mass Festival. This year it will be held at St. Joseph on Sunday, February 4th, to keep some of our carnival traditions alive. We've been organizing this activity now for many years, and this year's theme is celebrating our cultural tradition, and that event fits right into the theme for Carnival this year. Sometimes when we hear tradition, we think of it as going backwards, but we need to think of it as learning and appreciating aspects of our past and taking that along with us into the future, together with all the other creative expressions. In doing that, our traditions will continue to provide a lot of color, vibrancy, and excitement to the tapestry and fabric of our lives as the society and the country as a whole develops. And of course, traditions also help to inspire our contemporary expressions. I remember when bouillon was being created in Dominica, that they depended a lot on the traditional Bele, Lapo Kabwit, Jingping types of music. And if that was not there, had that died, maybe they would not have got that kind of inspiration. But the fact that those traditions were still alive and vibrant, the modern musicians now could tap into that reservoir of heritage in Dominica and come up with something new and something beautiful. So the two of them go hand in hand. They're not fighting with one another. They simply complement one another to make a country beautiful with its culture and with its heritage. And the same thing has to apply to Carnival, that while we have our modern, there will always be modern, creative, innovative ideas and expressions. But along with that, we need to also remember to include and promote the beautiful traditional aspects of our culture. And our Carnival Sunday, Monday, Tuesday should be breathtaking events, should be very creative and beautiful, and at the same time hand in hand with our traditions. So as this year's Carnival theme says, let's continue to celebrate our traditions. The Carnival in Dominica can be very, very unique. That's another thing. We don't necessarily have to be, while we hear of all the different things happening in the other islands, we don't just necessarily have to be copying them outright. We don't have to necessarily copy all their costumes outright. We can develop our own innovative, creative expression so that when people come to Dominica, they experience a carnival that's unique, something they have not seen in any of the islands. They can say, wow, Dominica's carnival is really, that's what we have to strive for. So in closing, let me congratulate the DFC, the DDA, the Ministry of Tourism on your efforts so far to stage another carnival. Let me encourage the participation of all Dominicans and visitors alike and urge everyone to keep the carnival violence-free and decent. We don't have to overdo anything. And let us also keep the carnival colorful and vibrant. My best wishes for a successful carnival this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawrence. And of course, we know the history of our carnival, pre-Lenten activity is something that we must celebrate as it goes along our religious beliefs. And we encourage those of you who may not believe in carnival, but at the same time, around that time, you can celebrate by rebuilding, by continuing to be the best neighbor you can be, to be the best friend you can be. Whilst those who believe in the carnival will come and celebrate the traditions, dress in their different costumes, go on the road, behave themselves in a proper way, and to ensure that at the end of the day, Dominica will be better for it. We cannot do this exercise without the support of the private sector. And over the years, we have forged an alliance and a partnership with a good corporate citizen. Even if the registry have different names for them for the last couple of years, they are still the same company that we have grown to love and appreciate for the tremendous support, not only to us as the organizing body, but to several aspects of Dominica's Carnival. And this year is no different in light of Hurricane Maria. Flow Dominica has again come on board to support Dominica's Carnival. And please welcome to the microphone to say a few words, a young man with a good future ahead of him. Please welcome Kareem Gis.
Good morning. Thank you, Val. Let me first recognize the Honourable Minister of Tourism and Urban Renewal, Robert Tonge, the CEO of Discover Dominica Authority and Director of Tourism, Mr. Piper. Also, Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Lawrence. A special good morning to the media and our listening audience across social media, radio, and of course, Mapping TV via YouTube. Val made a very important point, and I think if we were to rewind our calendars back to September 18th, we'd recognize that we may have not been standing here today planning one of the most festive times of the year for us. I think I recognize 3 of those times: Carnival, Independence, and Christmas. I think importantly we have done well for Christmas. I think people and their families enjoyed it. And it is a good opportunity now to a quite fitting theme to celebrate our traditions. And I think Raymond put it quite right that, if we did not have a lot of the cultural experiences, our music today may not have had the influence that we very much well enjoy. And when we listened and waited patiently to find out if we were having festivities this year, in fact, I made a call to Colin and Val and to pledge our support, not knowing what that figure would be and not knowing how the budgets would align, but we wanted to make sure that our brand was associated with the continuous art form, the continuous culture, and obviously the continuous need and thirst to celebrate what we consider as true Dominican traditions and culture, and hence the real mass, as Colin mentioned. So we have, yes, indeed, finalized our partnership with the Discover Dominica Authority and the DFC and the government of Dominica. We have pledged our unwavering commitment to support Carnival this year, albeit a smaller program, but we feel happy about it. We feel that our brand will still continue to get the exposure, and our participation not only extends to the DFCs and DDA, but we are in conversations with troops and groups and costume bands actually, as we are at this press conference. This afternoon we will be officially partnering with Amnesia Band. We can say it because we have already closed up on the agreement. So that's one costume band that will be aligned to our Flow brand. And it just shows that even if we have limited budgets, and even if we do have a lot of major expenses to take on during this year to bring back the infrastructure, which we know is very, very important to the country, very, very important to economic development, we also feel the need to place efforts, both resources, human-wise, and also financially, towards continuing to influence our culture, to continue influencing our traditions, and to help support Dominicans, diaspora, as well as those here on island, to come home, encourage them to come home, extend welcomes to friends and families to come to Dominica to celebrate the Real Mass 2018 under the theme Celebrating Our Traditions. So with that, we will not go further to take up the program time, but we are very, very excited to be associated with the government of Dominica, the Discover Dominica Authority through the DFC in staging this year's festivities.
Thank you very much, Kareem, and please extend our grateful thanks to the rest of the team at Flow. We look forward to working with your brand as we progress. We have a number of other initiatives that we are planning for 2018. So stand by. You will be hearing from us very shortly as we try and bring more of festival tourism into Dominica to help create that awareness. We have always been under the Ministry of Tourism, as far as I have been aligned with it, to always have a minister who loves the products that we that are under our brand development, and it goes way back to Honourable Banis, Honourable Ian Douglas, and for some reason every time there's a selection of a minister, we seem to get somebody who loves the Carnival and the Creole Music Festival, and they love all the other cultural activities. So when we are planning these activities, it's always good to have somebody like that where you can pick their brain and to help share some ideas and experiences as well, because you need to really have a collective approach, because you really cannot do it on your own. So we're very happy that we have such a Minister for Tourism and Urban Renewal. So it gives me great pleasure to give us a short address, Honourable Robert Tonge.
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Colin Piper, CEO of Discover Dominica, Mr. Raymond Lawrence, Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Kareem Geese, Regional Marketing Manager of Flow, the staff of the Discover Dominica Authority, and the staff of the Dominica Festivals Commission, the media here today, and persons listening to this broadcast. Let me extend season's greetings and best wishes to those of you gathered here, and to those of you listening by the various media outlets and via the internet. I am especially delighted for the opportunity to address you on the occasion of the official launch of Mass Dominic 2018 under the theme Celebrating Our Traditions. Knowing what we have gone through over these past few months since the passage of Hurricane Maria on September 18th, 2017, some of you listening have not only lost your valuable properties, you have also lost friends and family members. We continue to sympathize with you. It has been said over and over again that we are a resilient people, and this event is a manifestation of our resilience and our collective resolve to rise beyond the ordinary. But our resilience will be tested even more in these coming months as we continue to march to build a country that can withstand the impacts of climate resilience and be able to forge a new direction and dispensation of greater progress. Our focus will be on digging deeper within our common humanity to find ways to overcome our vulnerability and to adapt to those conditions that have impacted our lives these past few years, especially 2017. As we do so, we are reminded that this resilience will be needed in every sphere of our national lives and in every aspect of our national agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, despite of the challenges we faced last year, we need to learn from them, and we must look beyond them to find ways and means of rebuilding our beautiful country and our lives. Today, the focus is on Carnival, one of the most creative and imaginative aspects of our national life. The Dominican way reveals a passion for the glamorous and the colorful, a great tradition that transcends race, color, religious, political, social dimensions of our nation. It is a gathering of our spirits, of our ancestors, made possible by hundreds of years of perfecting an art form that reflects the Dominican cultural identity and pride of place. Mas Dominic is indeed a long-held carnival and cultural tradition that Dominicans of many generations have preserved and made it into one of the finest carnivals in the world. In 2018, Mas Dominic will be recalling of this tradition to brighten the spirits and to the awakening of our collective consciousness to build a country and to forge a greater nationhood in the face of our adversity. We are being called to use art and culture, rich aspects of our identity, to create a carnival national product in 2018. Those that are uniquely ours and those that can be fashioned in ways that still maintain and retain the colorful and glamorous aspects of the carnival in spite of our financial challenges and also our prioritization. So while we are faced with the numerous challenges as a result of Hurricane Maria, we believe that our country can benefit from the celebrations of Mas Dominic 2018. Quite apart from the obvious economic benefits to be gained from the celebrations, Mas Dominic provides a unique opportunity for our creative community, costume builders, songwriters, music producers, seamstresses, tailors, and performers of varying kinds to rise to the occasion and present their craft in a unique and distinct manner to connect with our communities in various ways and to empower our stakeholders to the new opportunities at this time. The Carnival will also provide important linkages with our rebuilding efforts in the tourism industry, with benefits to the accommodation sector, taxi drivers, vendors, and other service providers. In 2018, we are taking a deliberate decision to scale back on costs, but making Mas Dominic a celebration of the aspects of the tradition that brings out the best of us, the positive among us, and instill a new vision for growth and progress. As Carnival organizers and planners, we are calling on the youth and the elders to use this celebration not just to revel, which you should, but to also set a new tone for the national conversation and new ethos for the collaboration and togetherness. Let's celebrate this truly amazing tradition of our ability to sing songs that tell a story, of building costumes that reflect the color and light of our environment, that build and create music rhythms to excite us in a collective action. And let's dance to a rhythm that awakens us to a tomorrow of greater progress and possibilities. This carnival season, let's take our costumes to new levels and make the imagination of onlookers, visitors, and revelers roll. Let's bring to life the costume and songs that express our desire to be different, to be bold and imaginative, and to signal a new beginning. We encourage all non-resident Dominicans to return, not only to celebrate Carnival, but to provide the much-needed moral support of your family and friends. To those planning to visit to those of us planning to visit for Mas Dominic, whether returning nationals or visitors, there's a real secret about Mas Dominic which you need to discover in 2018. The secret is the spontaneity of the masquerading, the freedom you feel of being on the nature island, and the sense of nostalgia you get from seeing people so pure and so real. We come alive to the sight and sounds of the colorful characters, the infectious rhythms, and the amazing togetherness of our people. Come celebrate a carnival like no other. Let's rise beyond the ordinary to make this carnival season different, but equally sensational. Let's discover the traditions that call us to action and make us proud to be Dominicans. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Minister. So just to let you know, I'm going to give you a list of the costume bands that have already indicated that they will be on the road for 2018. Thunderbirds will be on the road. Carnival Corner will be on the road. Amnesia will be on the road. Hysteria will be on the road. Old Time Sick will be on the road. And Africulture Stilt Walkers will be on the road. And they will be on the road for the 2 days. And this year, due to the constraints, as Mr. Piper alluded to, we'll be giving a special trophy or plaque to the most creative for the costume band, and we're doing the same most creative for the traditional groups. And at least you will still be identified as the top winner, but you know the economic realities doesn't permit us to do anything more than that at this point in time. The traditional groups that we have indicated their willingness to participate. Colio Band Movie, Daily Sensei, the Newton Lapo Cabrit, St. Joseph Sensei, Granby Lapo Cabrit, Good Hope Black Devils, Kainago Territory Traditional Band, the Granby will be coming down with some Sensei, the Cassibus, Negmawa, and the ever popular the Police Juve Group. We are working with the Ministry of Education for Charlene Christian in terms of the school groups. There will be a number of school groups that will be partaking in the carnival, but we'll have the announcement of the names when school reopens on January 8th. But definitely there are a few of them that are showing their willingness to come and participate in our carnival. I will now use my Flow phone to read off the rest of the calendar of the activities. January 5th, which is today, we have the official launch, which is going on, and we are happy that you join us on Facebook and on the radio stations. On the 2nd of February, we have what you call Carnival Movie Night on the Bayfront. It's going to be an opportunity to come to the Bayfront. They'll be showing, there'll be a big screen showing reruns of various carnival activities and events, so you can come on down there and have some fun, clean, peaceful, and enjoy the ambience. On the 4th, the Carnival Old Mass Festival, as indicated, will be in St. Joseph. And then on February, and the 11th of February, there's the Carnival Bodlame. That's all these are celebrations we're having. So just listen, we're going to bring it down for you in celebrations, parades and fetes, and the Calypso shows. So you're now having these celebrations. So we go over it. Carnival Movie Night on the 2nd, Carnival Old Mass Festival on the 4th, Buyo Day on the 6th. That will be celebrated with the radio stations playing exclusive Buyo music. And if there are any private organizers out there who want to do anything in the evening time, you can free to do that and to get the requisite permission. And of course, Carnival Bodlame on the 11th of February. The Calypso shows, Stardom Calypso 10th at the Strip in Loubier, January 6th, January 10th, the 17th, the 20th, the 24th, and the 31st. So they're going to be having their first tent, I think, tomorrow evening at the Strip, and everybody should know where the Strip is. The Calypso Association, they are working very closely with us again this year in a different capacity. They will be hosting the events at the Newton Savannah, the quarterfinals on the 14th of January, the semi-finals on the 27th of January, and the Grand Calypso Finals on February 10th. And all these events will be at the Newton Savannah, and we're hoping that the Newton Savannah will be transformed into the Calypso City, and that's where these activities are going to be held. Our parades and fetes on Carnival Street Festival. This year we won't be having a parade from one area to the next. We're going to go to the Bayfront on the 26th of February, which is a Friday. It's an after-work line. We have a Carnival Street Festival where we invite the groups and organizing traditional groups and costume bands to join us in a mini celebration on the Bayfront. And there we'll have the symbolic handing over of the keys to the city to the chairman of the DFC, Mr. Kulzatic, by the mayor. And that will happen there. Then we have the cheerleading groups. We're going to be having the various organized activities. Calypsonians will be on stage as well. And of course, our our main sponsor Flow will be doing some promotions as well, so we can look forward to that on January 26th. So it will replace what is traditionally the opening parade, and we're calling it a street festival. On the first, on the next parade and fete, we have Reggae on the Boardwalk meets Soca in the City. And if you have been in Dominica for the last couple of years, that only spells Miguel Labadie. So the Reggae on the Boardwalk meets Soca in the City on the Strip in Loubier at 9 p.m. February 1st. On the 5th, the ever-popular Lagos Street Jam will be on with the Swinging Stars and Top Calvistonians. That will be taking place. On the 9th of February, there's an event on the Friday because we're not having our usual Miss Dominica pageant this year because we are unable to coordinate and organize the young ladies. And those of you who are Miss Dominica or have been Miss Dominica will know that it's not easy to organize, especially in light of the Hurricane Maria. We are still in discussion and planning to see if we can do the show later this year, but we'll give what is the final decision very shortly. Triple K Inception Bouillon Festival. That will be held on the 9th of February, that's the Carnival Friday, at the Newton Savannah. It's an event where they are bringing in the Bouillon bands, and they're going to be playing there, including the original Bouillon Pioneers, Triple K, WCK. So it's going to be a one inclusive to show you, yet again, to celebrate the tradition of how Bouillon music evolved and became very important in Dominica. And there may be one or two foreign artists as well coming in. On the 10th, the Carnival Beer Fest Barlime, where all the top bars in Roseau, together with the providers of beers, they're going to be having celebrations going on at these various bars, whether it's JR's, whether it's Jackson's, whether it's Marvel's. They're going to be having a lot of celebrations going on there with different beers for sale, ice cold and stuff like that. So to create that again, the Limes Art for you to come to meet friends, meet family, and to say something and to share your experiences from Maria over a cold drink and talk about Dominica and how we can help in the rebuilding. Because even whilst we are having fun, we must not lose the fact that we have a country to build and to make better than how we met it before Maria. Then we have on the 11th, the Rotary Club South and Punch Party that takes place as well. The Asafans Powder Fete, Juve on Carnival Monday for the streets of Roseau. And then we have Carnival Monday, the traditional groups, and the T-shirt band. We also be having the schools, once they'll be out as well. And Carnival Tuesday on the 13th for the streets of Roseau and the villages. Come as you like, costume parade. But yet again, we're asking for the creativity, as we have a number of groups there. So if you want to be part of those groups, you can make the contact information available to you through the DFC. You can call us. We can put you in line with the various leaders, so you can join the bands. They are very low in price this year, so you can be very creative how you want to make your costume, how you want to come alive in whatever traditional aspect that you want to celebrate. And of course, we have Tiwe Vaval, which will be in the Kalinago territory, where we bring the end to Dominica's Carnival. We are looking forward to the participation of all Dominicans to really make this a success. Security is of paramount importance to us, so we have to be each brother's keeper. We ask you to leave every bad thought at home and to come out and celebrate our tradition and make Dominica be the place that our friends from the wider Caribbean can come, where our friends in diaspora who were coming for the World Music Festival but had to cancel, once they are available here, that we can come and show them that we are a resilient people that can celebrate a carnival with a difference but make it very positive. We want to thank you for joining us. We will take your questions and hopefully we'll have some answers for you. The program will be available online. We will be having our different media campaigns headed by our marketing team leader, the other VC at the DDA, Vicky Chandler. So we will have that out there, and we will make sure that you can get a sense of what we're going to be doing. Ms. Williams, Marva Williams, also the DFC will be helping in terms of bringing it out as much information as possible to the general media. Yes.
Hi, Mr. Valcoffey, Vibes Radio, that's Ray. And I would like to ask the end time for the carnival. Will it still be 10 p.m.?
4 to 6. 4 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. You like that?
No.
Okay.
I don't. Hi, good morning. Rhonda Luke from the Chronicle newspaper. Now, many have seemed to decry the call of the Dominica Festival Committee to host Carnival 2018 or Mass Dominic 2018, now stating that the funds could have been placed and used elsewhere. What is your message to them?
As I said earlier, the Carnival is a traditional feast, a traditional celebration that goes way back into our history in terms of our religious convictions. There are those of us who believe in Carnival, and we have the right as a nation to give people the opportunity to celebrate their traditions. As I said, those of you who don't believe in Carnival, we respect that. We ask you to just use that period of time to look at your neighbor, look at your friend, and see how you can help generate some more love, some more concern, help them rebuild, help look at a road, look at a fence, and do something positive. But those that are celebrating, we ask them as well, when you're through celebrating, don't overdo it. Don't overspend, because we do not have the resources as a nation to just throw out there. We're asking you to celebrate, yes, because it's a traditional feast, a traditional celebration, but at the end of it, when Ash Wednesday comes, not only just go for your ashes, but remember the ashes that Maria left. We have to still clean it up and to make Dominica great again, according to my favorite president. Next question, please.
Yes, Mr. Valcoffey, good morning to you. Curtis Matthew from DBS Radio. I would like you to explain the rationale behind the 4 to 6 Carnival for 2018, the reason behind that. And a question for the Minister for Tourism.
I think you make the question. I
explanation,
appreciate the fact that you're putting me in that category, but I will leave the podium now, because the first question is definitely for the Minister, and the second question, if it's for him, I'll call him on to just answer this question.
No problem,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
So the second question to the Minister would be... Yes, the second one would be, you have announced that the budget for the Carnival will be reduced this year. Could you tell us what that budget, the new budget for the Carnival, will be in 2018, sir?
Okay, with regards to the end time of Carnival, obviously the entire country does not have electricity as we would like it to be, and we have to ensure that our people and our visitors are as safe as possible. So the intention is to ensure that Carnival ends at an early time to give persons the ability to get home safe. What it means is that we have to manage our time and enjoy the Carnival throughout the period of time. So you don't need to go until 10 o'clock at night. You can party from 4 in the morning or 6 in the morning until 6 p.m. What you need to do is to maybe train for it so that you don't have to fall asleep in between. But the paramount importance is the safety of our people, and as a result of that, we've been advised to end the Carnival at 6 o'clock. With regards to add to why having Carnival. In addition to it being part of our cultural identity, and we also need to release. A lot of people need to release some form of stress. You need to have that camaraderie where your family and friends can come back and give you that moral support. But in addition to that, Carnival and these type of events provides a lot of economic activity, especially to our hotels. And after the storm, many of them have been impacted. They did not get the revenue that they would have loved to have gotten after for the Music Festival. Then you have Carnival, which is another big area. So just imagine how much impact it'll have on their bottom lines, and also the impact it'll have on them being able to keep staff in the hotels. At some point, if you can't pay your salaries, then you're going to have to release staff. So there has to be economic activity, not only for the hotels, the restaurants, the taxi drivers, the tour guides, the persons who sell items along the road. And based on the studies that were done, whenever we have these activities, whatever we spend, you get a multiplication effect in the economy between 7 to 9 times that amount. So it's important for that aspect. In regards to the budget, for the last 2 years, the amount that we spent was about $720,000. We have brought it all the way down to $263,000. So the budget has been significantly reduced, bearing in mind the time that we are in. But at the same time, we want persons to enjoy themselves. We want family members to come down and to help your family members. And another part of it too is that just having your friends and family here provides such a big moral boost. It makes you feel a lot better and gives you that encouragement to continue moving forward.
Yeah. Let me just ask a follow-up question, or maybe a final one to you, sir. You may want to allow Val to answer if he can, I don't know. The question is, the Queen Show, the national competition, will not happen in 2018. Are there plans afoot to have that competition, the national Queen Show, at a different time of the year going forward?
More than likely, no. More than likely, no. I doubt it very much, because timing is everything. So I doubt that's going to happen. I guess we will have to plan for next year.
So what you're saying, the Queen Show will return to the same time and date next year? That's what you're saying?
More than likely, yes.
More than likely.
Yeah. But as Mr. Coffey said, at a subsequent time, we'll reconfirm confirm that.
Hi, good morning. Would you be able to speak to us on what percentage of our rooms are market ready for Carnival?
So at present we're at 50%, but as we've been saying, our thrust is to focus on I like using the word diaspora sometimes. Our thrust is to focus on our Dominicans who are living overseas to come in and help your families. At the same time, we have to manage the expectations of what we provide, so we have to be very careful. So the focus is on our Dominicans living abroad. Come home, come and meet your families, come and give your family the moral support that you have, come and help them put up something in the house or the room or the yard, or to move a log or to clean a yard or whatever. Just come back and help your family and friends, meet all the people, and let's have a great time. Okay?
Mr. Tonge, for the first time, probably history will record that our Carnival Queen, Miss Germaine, her tenure will run for what, 2 years instead of 1?
I think I'd have to be advised on the legality of that. I cannot confirm at this point in time. But traditionally, it's for a set period of time, which is a year.
So could Mr. Piper answer that for us, or Mr. Coffey or Mr. Lawrence?
We will reconfirm. We'll get the information and get back to you on that.
Okay, Mr. Tonge, I know we on Carnival activities, but this year should be a reunion, right? Is there any activities planned for Little Down this year?
Mr. Lawrence, you can provide some information on that, please. No, you need to come up. Oh, you're not?
The reunion aspect of activities is held by a separate committee. And we as Carnival, and we are doing Carnival, we are part of our established product. Mr. Charles, who's the chairperson of the reunion committee, at some point in time, next week or two, we'll be making an announcement that refers to the overall reunion program, which obviously will include Carnival, it include Festa, it include the World Christmas Festival, and other activities they have planned. So that determination will be brought forward to you as soon as we have it.
Thank you.
Okay, Edona John Baptist Mapping News. I'd like to understand from the DDA's end what has been going on to market the destination to receive tourists, particularly given the circumstances that we're operating under.
All right, I'll call Vicky Chandler, the Director of Marketing, to talk to that.
Good morning, everyone. Protocol having been established. My name is Vicky. I work marketing at DDA, as you know, with my dear boss, Colin Piper. We've been trying to establish in the public domain that Dominica was not wiped out after Hurricane Maria. So our first order of business was to communicate detailed facts to persons who are interested in the destination that Dominica is still here. We have continuous updates on our update site and our Discover Dominica, which is accessible via our discoverdominica.com original destination portal, where you can get up-to-date information on the number of hotel rooms available, which ones are open, the number of rooms within each hotel that are accepting guests, that the airports are open, that the roads are motorable, that the flights are back on, never really stopped. They were just put on hold to allow relief workers to come in. So the first objective was to ensure that the world knew that Dominica was still here and that we still have the infrastructure to accept guests. We as a government, we do not own the tourism product to some extent when it comes to the hotels. So we just liaise with them to get the accurate information that we can communicate, which is of course one aspect of marketing. In addition to that, when it comes to specifically encouraging persons to visit the nature island for any reason whatsoever, we recently launched a digital campaign. It was about the week before Christmas, just to remind people subtly that we are really reopening for business, and that 2018 will be a year that we will continuously promote what we have available in a method that is cost effective and very targeted. What we will do for Carnival in particular is re-engineer, in a sense, the assets that we already have, that we started in the campaign 3 weeks ago, to now focus more on Carnival-related content. We used the tagline, the call to action for the campaign as to return to where life means more. Those words were specifically chosen to target the diaspora, or persons who have a connection with this country and an emotional connection to Dominica. People travel to where the country means something to them. And culture remains one of the top 2 reasons that people travel at all. They leave where they live to come and experience what you're doing where you are. And it is important to maintain what we own uniquely in the world, as our culture is the one thing that no one else possesses that you possess, any country. And for Dominica, that's exactly the same. This year, returning to where life means more, coming to a destination for deeper meaning, all that is really language to let people know it is not only coming to participate in, well, for Christmas, obviously, we want to remind people we were here, but for Carnival, we want to come and to celebrate. But as we say internally, we're going to celebrate to stimulate the economy, the sector. It's a chicken and egg thing. We need tourism spend in order to help us regenerate the industry to some extent. But we're also working locally to regenerate it, to encourage people to come. So it's a hand-in-glove situation. And that is really the messaging that we've been putting out there for people to come to Dominica, to help us out, to enjoy themselves. And yes, masquerade is a very important part of celebrating any carnival. It is the one opportunity we have, 1 or 2 days a year out of 365 days, to forget who we are, to not be responsible in a sense for our actions, but to legally, of course. And I have to say this, and this is one of the key selling point of this destination, that Dominica is one of the safest places in that I have heard of, and definitely within the region. That is one of the top reasons that people feel confident about traveling to any country, whether it's to celebrate or just to hang out at a bar or whatever. I hope I've answered your question.
Sure. Ms. Chandler, coming from a homeland, if you don't mind me pointing out, that has a thriving tourism industry, what sort of position does that put you in to influence the promotion of Dominica?
I think that's a question for my boss, why they hired me. I've spent a long time, I will not say how many decades, but it's more than 2, working in tourism in various aspects. And in various areas of the world to stimulate tourism for another destination. It is the number one passion of my life. Maybe I have a boring life, but I think it's an amazing life. But tourism, I think, is the most exciting industry where we're selling dreams. Each country is unique. I refer to the Caribbean as this utopian enclave. We have everything here. There is diversity within the region, and I think the experience that I bring from a destination which has been doing tourism, I always say, since 1751, and then more seriously from the 1950s, is that I have seen the progression from a situation where Barbados was very much like at the stage where Dominica is when it comes to putting yourself out there. I think what the opportunity for Dominica is you can determine what kind of tourism you want to be. You have taken your time, I think, this is my opinion from my observation, in determining who you are and the niche you want to carve out for yourselves. And that is a nature island. And you are known globally for that reason. And everything that we will craft, and we have an opportunity to craft, it is a brilliant opportunity. How often in life do you get the opportunity to create something that brings joy, selling dreams, to other human beings to enhance their lives? And this is one of those opportunities where we can look at the uniqueness of this destination and augment it where it needs to be and just keep it chill where it needs to be. I must tell you, for my personal experience, this has been, even as I'm working, one of the most relaxing, serene places I've ever visited. It is almost like a real vacation. And that word real is the thing that really struck me the most, has impacted me the most as a person coming from the places that I've visited where I go home tired after a holiday. Here, not so much. Any more questions?
No, well, not for you,
Okay,
but I wanted
that's
to
fine. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I wanted to understand from the Honourable Tourism Minister, what is his ministry's vision for a climate resilient tourism industry?
What with regard to that, I will answer that question sometime next week. We'll have a full press conference update on tourism, which includes some of the things that we have to do to be a more climate resilient country. But this, I think the same things that if you think about it to a certain extent, many of the same things that apply to us in our own lives, in our private lives, are the same things that really need to apply. You need to be careful where you put your properties, and if you do put your properties in areas that are of a high risk, you have to create put systems in place to reduce risk. So if you're close to a river, you need to have a proper wall. If you're close to a river or the beach, you need to be higher than the normal areas where it's going to flood. You need to have water. If you're hosting guests, you need to have water and supplies to hold these guests for a significant period of time. Communication is critical. You need to be able to communicate, and these are some of the things that we saw. So we'll be able to talk about them. And as you heard recently, there was this session with all of the PSs, and that was some of the things that came out as a result of that. But we can talk about these things in more detail sometime next week when we give a full detail in terms of, we've also created a task force with all of the stakeholders, again, to ensure that what we're doing is in line with what the stakeholders wish. There's a 60-day plan. So all of these things we can talk about to give you a better view as to what we're doing, what we've been able to accomplish so far. But the bottom line is that we all have to work together. No one area can do it. We have to be careful of our environment. We can't just throw things discriminately. It's just a lot of things that we have to do to ensure that our visitors are happy. But I think more importantly, all of these things, we have to do it for ourselves. We shouldn't be cleaning the streets and gutters and everything else for visitors. We have to do it for ourselves first. And obviously, if we do a great job at it, everybody should be happy as a result of that. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr. Tonge, final question. Has the time come for a sort of national debate on the date for Dominica's Carnival? Is that something that you've considered? Is that something that you would like to see happen? A debate to decide whether it stays or it moves?
That's a challenging question. I guess the same thing will apply for Carnival Music Festival. Is it the right date? Based on the challenges of climate change and all of the hurricanes, should we change those dates? So I guess it's something that we can discuss, and then a decision is made. But let's see how it goes from there. For me, Carnival is fine. As at the time it is, we are not competing. We're not supposed to be competing with anyone else. We have a unique product that is ours. Let us focus on that product. Let us try to make it better and continue to push it to different levels. I think there are other events based on climate change that we may have to change, or we have to look at the dates to ensure that we reduce the chances of it. Climate change is such that before we had a storm, Hurricane David was 1979, but then from 2011 to now we've had 3 major events. And if you look at the ratio, that's a very high ratio in terms of things that can actually impact other events. So
Is the Creole Festival one of the events we may have to move?
no, I'm saying that you have to look at all of these things and make decisions. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm gonna have to run.
Thank you very much. There's no more questions. That's it? No more questions? Well, we want to thank you very much for joining us, those of you on DBS Radio, Vibes Radio, Kyrie FM, those of you on the social media networks. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, the airports are open, the ferry terminal is open, Liat, Seabourn, Renewal, the ferry. You can get yourself to Dominica. The taxis are waiting for you at every destination. Our sites are being set up and developed as we speak, so you can visit a site when you come down, and you can even try and come to the DDA or DFC and talk to us and see how you can help us if you can. So there's a lot of things that you can do. Support your family. Come, let's celebrate Dominica's Carnival, the real mass in 2018. Our friends from the region, those of you in neighboring islands, come see how we have grown from September 18th and to see the progress that we have made. We want to wish you a very good day. We want to wish you a very good year, and hope that you continue to support Dominica in whatever we do in our rebuilding effort, and let's celebrate our traditions in a positive way with your support. May God bless Dominica, may God bless you, and may God bless everybody in the world. We thank you for joining us. God bless.